On PM Express tonight, something that happened literally a few hours back, the struggle over new regional capitals. We are attempting to settle the differences tonight. It's just about regional capitals, about bringing development to a people. And so when violence erupts in the midst of that, you need to calm nerves and call people to sort of, I guess, as has been called tonight, for calm to be maintained. Calm heads must reign tonight. And that's why we're putting together a few people to have a conversation about this. And hopefully the people in the affected areas tonight are watching and will hear some reasoning in what is said tonight. This is very important. We're just tracking how far we've come as far as the creation of the regions. We know in 2018, the referendum came about that led to the creation of all these regions. So T Savannah, Northeast, Western North, Ahafo region, and Bono East. Now we know that residents in these areas voted massively to endorse the creation of the very massive. Almost all the regions had more than 80–90% of votes just to create these regions. And that is why it baffles me why people are tonight up in arms and burning, because there was unity in the vote. There was unity in the vote. 95–98%, in places 99% of all you lot in Savannah, for example, voting for Savannah region. So there's no basis for violence tonight. We'll touch on that, the nitty-gritties shortly. We know the Minister for Regional that's Damboche, who's a Minister for Regional Reorganization, rather, disclosed that there's 20 million cedis that government has put together for each of these regions that have been created and has been allocated in the budget. Then we know that the controversy then erupts over the citing of capitals for some of these regions. And these were areas where the controversy really revolved around Savannah region, Bono East region, and the Northeast region. There was some controversy over where to cite the capitals there. People were appealing to the president, sending petitions in, asking the president to choose their respective area for citing of the capitals. We know that in the Bono East region, for example, the contest was really between Nkaranza and Techima. Yesterday, the chiefs held a press conference asking the president to put the capital in Nkaranza. The thing about this, though, is that tomorrow the president will make an announcement formally where the capital is going to be. So this is going to be settled tomorrow at the Jubilee House. We also know that as far as the Northeast region is concerned, we've seen petitions asking the president to put the capital in Wale Wale. But we know that tonight, the president, just a few hours ago, at the formal ceremony at Jubilee House, had announced that Nalerigu is going to be the capital for the newly created Northeast region. And so, what about those who petitioned about Wale Wale? Is there any deliberate strategy to reach out to them, to bring people together to the table and back Nalerigu as a capital so development can come to the place? That's what we'll be focusing on with some of our guests tonight in the studio. Now, just some hours ago, the president also announced Damongo as the capital for the Savannah region. And this is where the controversy tonight had been and the violence we've seen in that part of the country. Now, the announcement triggered a violent protest, and you can see in the background the picture we're using of the MPP headquarters there in Salaga that has been set ablaze because of the youth unease and rejection of the placement of the capital there. You can see on your screens what I'm talking about. The MPP head office there totally set ablaze and destroyed. People doing this, destroying the building, rioting just because the president has chosen Damongo as the capital. And so that is what you see on the television is what is panning out right now. And we're grateful to have somebody who understands this and is really in touch with the people there, trying to get them to calm down. And hopefully, and I know many people watch the show tonight, hopefully through this, they will hear his message and calm down in that part of the country. So this is really where the controversy has been. There is an uneasy calm in the area right now, and nobody wants this to erupt again. We've had threats that they're going to escalate this further. Hopefully tonight we can get to the bottom of resolving the differences. But there's something else I need to introduce you before I sit down. And this is very, very important. For the very first time, we are getting a pictorial appreciation of Ghana's new map. And this is fascinating. Watch this. This is our new map of Ghana. 16 regions. Forget about what you know about Ghana geographically and the map. This is it. Let's go through this because you're beginning to learn what Ghana will look like going forward. And so let's pay attention to what we have. Upper West region is still there, untouched. I'm sure you know this already. Wa is there as a capital, and you see the districts all captured in there. If you come to Upper East region, it's still there as well. However, Northeast region, as you can see on your television, let me expand it for you, because this is where I want to focus in the new regions. 6 of them. So we have 16 regions in all. Let me expand this for you so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the Northeast region in yellow, right? This is it. That's it. That's a new region for you in the Northeast region. Now, in the Northeast region, as I've said already, the president has decided that the capital should be in Nalerigu. And Nalerigu and Wale Wale are in this part of, okay, if you take my 2 hands, just separated by this, all of them in that part of the Northeast region. And so really there's not the distance between them is not really too huge. And so this shouldn't be a problem. I mean, because if development is coming, it's really about the region. Look at Greater Accra, for example, and see how it spread the wealth across the country. So that is the Northeast region. Let's go to the other part where the controversy has been tonight, which is let me give you the global picture of the map as we have it. This here is the north, that is the Savannah region in red. It's going to open up shortly, and I will show you pictorially where the capital is going to be. That is in Damongo. Here we go. So the Savannah region is in red, and if I expand this, you see that if you take, you find Damongo in this part of the Savannah region. Salaga, where the violence has been tonight, is somewhere here. It's somewhere here. Just somewhere here. Just close to where the water lake travels. Somewhere in this region, you find Salaga. Salaga believes it should be the capital. Damongo believes it should be the capital, but the president decides Damongo gets it, and which is what has led to the violence tonight. But that is an appreciation of your new Ghana for you. So if you're traveling to the northern region, you have to go through the Savannah region before you get there. Those who understand this picture better than I do are in the studio, so we'll get to understand this, but just understand where the capitals are. Now, let's also see what is happening in what we know to be the Bono Ahafo region has changed completely. So you have Bono East. Bono East didn't used to be there, was created. Now, that is yellow. Now, what fascinates me really is, if you look at Savannah, it's still very, very huge. Very, very huge. Look at the northern region. All that. Significantly huge geographically. Bono East also very huge. You can see Kintampo North, Kintampo South, and in Nkaranza, that's where the controversy has been. The chiefs say put the capital in Nkaranza. The president will make a decision on that tomorrow. Let's quickly go to the Oti. The Oti region is there. This is the Oti region for you. That's the Oti region, and it shares a border with the Volta region, as you can see. So that's a new Oti region. And here too, I mean, there's lobbying going on, lobbying the president to put a capital somewhere. Kratchi is making a good case to put the capital there. So that's it for you. Let's still stay in Bono, because remember Bono. Now this is one of the new regions as well. This is also key. Also just been created, right? This is Tain. Remember Tain in 2008 elections? This is where it was decided. Tain is here. Bono is a new region as well. If you take Ashanti region, there's nothing really happening there. But look at this picture here, Ahafo. Ahafo is another new region that we've just also created as part of this. Okay, so that's Ahafo for you, with all the new districts, all the districts already there. Tano North, Esutifi, Asunafo, Asunafo South, Tano South, all there in your new region. Now, if you go to the Western region, we had one region created there. Western North is what you see there, as created in the wake of the referendum. Western North, so you have the districts surrounding it. Seshiwi also, Jaboso, Seshibi Bieni, also emerging as one of the key places that people are asking the president to consider in placing a capital. This is really beautiful, because Ghana has now been chopped up into 16 new regions. And then, of course, your Western region is there, just smaller. I mean, and you see the Western North region also peering out there on East North. So that is your new Ghana map for you. Let's reduce it so you can see it as it's as you begin to appreciate it geographically in whole. So you start from Greater Accra and you have to make your way to the western region, to the western north, to the Oti, all the way to the northern part of the country. 16 new regions. This is how the picture is looking at. So why are people fighting over capitals? That's a conversation we are having. And how do we settle those differences? Stay with us here on PM Express. My guests are seated. The conversation starts right now. My guest in the studio tonight is Salifu Said. He is a Northern Regional Minister, but tonight the President made an announcement, and then I'll outdoor him as the caretaker minister for the Northeast and Savannah regions. And so as we speak, he is overseeing 3 regions. And if you watch the map I showed you, that's a huge geographical area. His responsibilities are enormous. Thank you, sir, for your time here on PM Express, and he's in the studio with me. Also, Yidana Zakaria is spokesperson and also secretary, right, to the Northeast Region. There's an association, right?
It's the Nairi Working Committee.
Okay, say that again.
Nairi Working Committee.
Nairi Working Committee, and speaks for them. He was at the Jubilee House also today to witness that ceremony that outdoored the capitals for both the Savannah and also the Northeast region. Regional Minister, your task is a huge one, but tonight you have an even bigger task. Because of the violence we've seen in Salaga, they believe the capital should have been in Salaga South, I think it was, but has been put in Damongo. I know you've been on the phone all through trying to calm nerves. The other thing you need to note, he's also the chairman of the Regional Security Council, and I guess as a caretaker minister right now, he's also the chairman then of the Northeast Regional Security Council, yes, and also the Savannah Security Council. Yes. So he controls a lot. What have you been, I know you've been doing a lot in the background trying to settle what is happening there. What have you been told about the violence that we've seen on the screens?
Yes, for us, first of all, thank you very much. And for me, where I'm sitting as the chairman of the Northern Regional Security Council, this thing didn't come to me as a surprise.
Okay.
Even what we are seeing, the degree of it would have been more than that. But from intelligence point of view, we have picked a lot of signals, and we did a lot of sensitization, awareness creation, even in Gambaga, as well as Salaga. We put in some security to be on the grounds, to be monitoring. And it would have been more than this. Given the fact that, yes, in terms of new regions, with reference to the 1992 Constitution or the 4th Republican Constitution, maybe it's a new phenomena. But if we look at the quest to create or carve out administrative jurisdiction like the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, you see that intermittently there has been this type of as to where they should locate the district capital, and some of this violence sometimes are associated with, locating capitals, that is administrative capitals. So what I just want to say is that yes, we did some background works to talk to people not to go on that tangent, but still some of the people went ahead to take the law into their own hands. First of all, the security are on the ground, and by tomorrow I'm going to hold a RESEC meeting in the afternoon because I'm going back to the north during the morning session with the chiefs back to the north. But the security officers on the ground, they are working at it, and those who are destroying properties, we are going to treat it as a criminal matter. Because if you have your concern, we have leaders there, we have leadership, even the youth, we have youth leaders. So they needed to address, the methodology they are using is not the best. They needed to address these issues through their leadership. But despite that, we have I have been talking to the chiefs and the youth leaders and other key people. For instance, if we take Salaga as a case in point, the paramount chief of the Pembe traditional area, where Salaga is part of that jurisdiction, I have spoken immediately. I picked the signals. I went straight to the Pembe Wura, who is still in Accra, and told him he needs to call people on the ground. I called the MP for Salaga South, that is where this problem is happening, and talked to him to get. So he is going to, the MP will be leaving very early in the morning to the constituency. I have also gotten some people, and we'll be able to work it out, because if you look at where this problem has happened, is within, it's like it's narrowed down to MPP. Yeah. And then that is the party office. And if you look at this party office, was the Honorable Boniface Abubakar Sadiq, when he was the MP for Salaga. He built it. He built it. And this thing has been there. And if we look at most of the constituencies in northern region, they don't even have that type of edifice. I was surprised to have it's one of the biggest, yes, it's one of the biggest constituency party office that we have in the region. But it's unfortunate that the youth went on that tangent, but you can count on us. The security agencies are on the ground, and we were able to deal with the issue decisively and put a stop to it. So I will only use this platform to appeal to the youth to remain calm. Yes.
Do you understand what your concern is? What is your concern?
Yes, is the regional capital. Okay. Because the Salaga constituency people, for that matter, the municipal assembly, we call it East Gonja. Okay. And then Damongo is West Gonja. Okay. So they thought that the capital should have been located there. But if you look into or you trace the history of the petitions that the previous overlords of the Gonja traditional area, and for that matter, past political dispensations, even the request for the region and where they want the capital to happen, it has been shifted depending on the period. Okay. Because yes, even before the advent of colonialism, in the whole of the north, Salaga was very functional because of the slave trade. That was where people were trading and whatever. Then, but at a certain point, when they were looking for the region, if you look at during the Rawlins time and then scaling to former President Kufuor's time, to even the late former President Atta Mills and that of President John Dramani Mahama, their focus was even on Bupe. Bupe, which is, we call it Central Gonja. Okay. And there were the people deliberately were putting up some infrastructure, looking at how Central, especially in terms of the road network, linking from Kumasi, Bron, that is Ashanti region, Bron, passing through Bupe, and then if you are exiting from northern region, and for that matter coming from the Sahelian countries, you pass through there. So they were trying to develop that place. But you see, every time, it doesn't matter how early somebody starts to look for something. It depends upon the period, and then also the eligibility criteria. If you look at it, yes, much as they have other qualities in Salaga to get it, the region, the overall goal or the bottom line of the burning desire of the people within that enclave they were looking for was to get the region to propel,
which is fundamental. And I was making the point, if you watch the turnout, yes, and the number of the percentage that said yes vote, yes, there was no division there. Yes, it was more than 90%. Exactly. So in the voting, yes, the people of the Savannah, yes, were united. Yes. So it beats me why then, yes, after the baby was Savannah. Yes. Protect the baby, yes, and then you're fighting over it.
Yes. You see, like you indicated, if you look at, I wish the whole of Ghana, they were within that territory at the time that we were doing the advocacy, the sensitization to that scale up to the voting period. And you can see unity of purpose, even though diverse in terms of the geopolitics of the
there was rarely
area,
opposition
because it wasn't a partisan approach. You could see NDC people, former NDC appointees, former current MPs on the NDC.
I mean, Bole is in Savannah.
Yes.
I see Bole there.
Yes, Bole.
The former president went to vote.
Yes.
And in voting, he asked people to turn out and vote for the creation of the region. So that tells you how even along political lines, people were united.
Yes. Let me tell you, if you look at it, even today at the ceremony, if we pick the Savannah region, in terms of MPs representation, the NDC, they have majority.
Okay.
You get it? We have, for MPP, we have only one seat. The rest of the seats belongs to NDC. It's only when you come to the current northern region, we now have 50-50, because the old northern region, we have 9 seats for MPP and 9 seats for NDC.
Okay.
Then you go to the northeast region, it's also 50-50. So even this regional creation thing, those days in the past, so before today, yes, people used to tag northern region like as if it was like NDC stronghold, but the regional creation has already changed the dynamics. But upon all that, the people didn't bring politics into it. Even today's function, all the MPs were the majority and minority. So what I want to say is that, because if you look at the politics, the campaign we all do, whether MPP, NDC, CPP, PNC, the convergent point is development. When you get the opportunity to go and convince and scout for votes, by the end of it all, you want to bring development to the people. And if you look at the vision, the push factor of His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, why he risks to be able to master that courage to challenge his government, for us to ensure that we test this constitutional clause by ensuring that we move the need to create some of these regions, is to ensure that at least the northern region, if you look at where the regions have been divided, like you were talking about the size, the whole northern region, I used to tell people, if you take Bron Ahafo region and add it to eastern region and greater Accra, that was the size of northern region.
Very huge.
Or if you pick eastern region, add it to greater Accra region and that of the Volta region, that was the size of northern region until today. This CI thing has now come into effect. So it means that even in terms of monitoring, if you look at the regional coordinating councils, one of the fundamental objectives or responsibilities of them is to monitor and do oversight responsibilities, track the activities of the projects and interventions being implemented by government and other development partners.
That was difficult to do.
It was very difficult.
I want you to, I'll come back to you and also understand what went into the selection of Damongo. Okay, as a capital. But let me bring in Yidana. Yidana, you're part of the country, which is the northeast region now. I know there was a petition. Wale also wanted it. Thankfully tonight we haven't heard of any violence there. And I know you were at the Jubilee House. What do you say to your friends in Wale who wanted it?
Thank you very much. I'm most humbled to share the same platform with my respected
Minister. Yes.
Thank you so much. I think that, you see, democracy is such that everybody must be given the chance to have a say. But it does not necessarily translate into having your way. A decision has been taken. And for me, from the northeast region, all the chiefs, the paramount chiefs, supported the call of the Nayiri to have the regional capital located at where the traditional capital is. So when you have all the paramount chiefs,
okay, so all the paramount chiefs in the northeast area
region,
converged
in their opinion and supported the call of the Nayiri to have the regional capital.
So they suggested it to the president? They suggested Nayiri to the president?
Yes, they have had discussions on this.
So the president didn't just wake up one morning and decide
No, you don't blame the location of the regional capital entirely on His Excellency the President. It is the wish of leadership at the traditional level. And you see, once it's a regional capital, there's no way you can have it at all the places.
Only one place can have it.
Yes. Let me also add that the case of Northeast region, we have our brothers Chakosis at the extreme end over there. The Bimobes and the Konkombes are also to the far end. And so they think that if we have Nalergu as capital, accessibility will not be so much of an issue.
Okay.
So they looked at the centrality of Nalergu and also endorsed that idea that Nalergu would be the most appropriate place for the location of the regional capital. So I think that all the issues that are coming up should not even in the first place have come up. But in Northeast, I can say for now that there have not been issues to the extent that people are destroying party property. The decision is not a party decision. The decision is not even a government decision per se. It's a collective decision. Government listening to the traditional authorities and what they want. You cannot ask for something and you don't simply know where to locate it. The chiefs, in their wisdom, asked for the creation of the Northeast.
I see the Wale Wale, the petition I saw was a youth group, the youth associations that put that together.
Exactly.
It begs the question whether they were consulted at all.
Some consultation was done, but you see, the traditional rulers represent our interest.
Okay.
And I don't want to believe that they have made a mistake in this. The youth also have their stake. But when it comes to taking a final decision, you listen more to the traditional authorities. So my appeal to the youth back home is that our leaders called on the president to locate the capital at Nalergo, and the president has respected their opinion. For me, that ends the matter. Let's now try to see how we can move forward well into the future. Destroying property will not be a solution to the problem. It will not compel government to change its decision. As we are here talking, I can say that the whole of Northeast is in Accra. Because when you have all the chiefs coming for a program, they represent the soul and spirit of the people. So there should not be any reason that will move somebody to want to destroy anything.
Yeah, let me bring back the regional minister into this. Right. So very quickly, so we can clear the situation in Salaga. What is the situation now as far as the violence is concerned? I mean, I know your ear is closely on the ground. What is the situation now?
Yeah, the situation now is under control. The leadership has taken charge. You know,
what's the leadership? You mean police or?
The leadership means the paramount chief of the area. That is the traditional leadership as well as the political leadership. Myself, including the MP and other political leaders, we are all talking to the people on the ground, including the MC. Then the security too, they are doing their work. The traditional leader has been tasked to do it. So it has. This is a challenge, but it's something.
Has it stopped now? Has the violence stopped?
Yes, it has stopped.
Calm has returned.
Yes, it has returned.
Have you deployed some additional men there? Or
yes,
this is calm?
Yes, calm has.
Because we had, in fact, I'm sure you were. We were with the MP when we spoke to him, and the concern he raised was that I think the police went there earlier and I had to withdraw. Did you get that briefing as well?
Yes. But the situation is under control.
Okay.
And
we have enough men on the ground.
Yes, and we'll go in even more tomorrow to talk to.
You've been very emphatic that.
Yes.
You treat this as a criminal case. Those who destroy property.
Yes.
You identify them and arrest them and prosecute.
Exactly. We'll let the law deal with them. It's criminal.
Do you know if somebody has been arrested already?
That one, I need to talk with certainty. So I'm waiting for the security report so that I will use it to, to confirm.
Or that's happened.
Or otherwise.
Okay.
Then also the issue, just to add to it, what I want to say is that looking at what is happening today and tomorrow, President will be doing same to the two regions in
the Bono. So the Bono East,
yes,
Bono.
Yes, and then that of the Western North, and then OT. I just want to appeal to the people. In the first place, let me take Northern region. Before today, the two new regions coming into effect, they were already there, and the capital was in Tamale. They never fought. They were not destroying things. So
in spite of the distance,
in spite of the distance and whatever. Yeah. Yes, and if you look at the voting pattern, both Northeast and Savannah, the percentages, you see, it was far. They were 90-something% going. So that was a very clear, legitimate expression of the people, that it wasn't like an imposition, this idea of creating region, but rather this is something that the people have in terms of their priority list. It was on top. So we did it, no problem. And I can tell you, me, I followed everything, the sensitization, especially the minister in charge of regional reorganization and development. He came, we went around the chiefs. Apart from that, he left. I've been working with the MMDC, the whole, even the traditional leadership, all the traditional, the paramount chiefs, the overlord tax, every paramount chief, for them to bring targets. And they were working, they formed their local committees, working, and then the political leaders, they came on board, present and current. Nobody brought it. We were united in working. And I can tell you, even when the commissioner for the regional creation came, in the Savannah region, for example, they were very certain, even when we look into their report, the petition, the final petition that they worked and they submitted, they already settled that Damongo should be the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So the commission had already recommended Damongo.
Yes, and even they themselves in the presentation and what, they were united.
And what were the factors that made Damongo the place to look for, the place to settle on?
A number of factors. One, traditionally, in the whole of that enclave, it falls within the kingdom of the Gwenja land traditional area. Okay.
That's what the paramount chief
and that is where the paramount chief says. That is the headquarters. It's already the capital. And I can tell you, you see, there are 4 major kingdoms that were already in existence even before the advent of colonialism. When even the colonial powers came, in the northern territories, the then northern territories, when they came in, they had to use indirect rule, because the Gonja traditional kingdom was already there, well structured. The Nanu, the Dagbon, as well as the Mampurugu. So they had to rule the areas through these chiefs. So the king, and those places were already the headquarters of the place. And if you look at it, Damongo has been playing some central role in a lot of things. Yeah. So it will be easy. It will be easy. So do it, because when we do, they will have a lot of and it's also central. It's also central to them, and they have also resolved in the report, in the petition, most of the things that His Excellency is doing. It's not like the ideas of the president, though the constitution gave him the power. If president wanted to impose the creation of the regions, you see, if you look at the constitution, different clauses are there, provisions talking about one. He could have gone ahead to apply that one, where he will not even go through this rigorous processes. True. And they will just create it with the executive yes, but he didn't do. He wanted a participatory approach, whereby the people will own the process. They will go through trying to look at.
But in several of the capitals, was broad consultations done?
Broader. Okay. Even if there will be other adjectives for us to use to show that it wasn't a pseudo participation.
In Salaga, where people consulted in Salaga?
Yes, authentic participation in the decisions that they have arrived at. So, but what I just want to say is that, fortunately, the approach that now we are going to work out to see how the regional coordinating councils will be constituted, and His Excellency the President has already given a direction that the projects that will be coming out from in the regions is going to be spread. It's not going to be concentrated. Okay. So the district that, for instance, the capital.
That is the next big question. Yes. I want you to hold on, because I think that's something I want to explore in detail, also with you, Yidana, about the approach to development. Because fundamentally, the reason why Salaga is fighting is that they believe Damongo will be developed and they'll be left behind. So if we can address that question thoroughly, maybe to put people at ease, that the approach is not one that leaves somebody behind and focuses elsewhere. We'll come to that very shortly, and also address how that will pan out also for Northeast, and the others are coming up tomorrow. Stay with us here on PMS. When we return, we'll be talking how to develop these new regions equitably, regardless of which place holds the capital. Stay with us on PM Express. Thank you for staying with us here on PM Express. In the studio with me is the Northern Regional Minister. It's also tonight the caretaker Minister for the Northeast and Savannah regions. Also with me is the spokesperson for the Northeast region, and they've been galvanizing the youth and the chiefs there, and they were in the Jubilee House today for the ceremony that adored the capital of Northeast, Nalerigu, Yidana Zakaria. Yidana, I want to come to you on that all-important question of development. We know 20 million cedis have been already approved in the budget for Northeast region and the other regions as well. And the only reason why people will fight over capitals is to believe that Nalerigu is a capital. Oh my goodness, Nalerigu is going to get a chunk of the 20 million and the rest will be left behind. You believe, in fact, you say that's not the case. You've been convinced that this is going to be shared equally. Yes. Regardless of where you are in the Northeast region, you're going to get some of the development.
I say so on the authority of the pronouncements of the Nairi.
Okay.
Right after the referendum, there was a Deba of chiefs at the Nalerigu, at the palace, and he made it clear to everybody that the quest for the region was to bring about development. And he was not going to watch over a situation where there will be some neglect of some of the communities. In fact, he will be interested in making sure that we share whatever comes to the region equitably. Then, even after today's program, you listen to him. When we get back home, there's going to be a Deba of chiefs, opinion leaders, and those in political authority in the Northeast region. It will be to further discuss on how we can plan into the future as to how we can share the resources that come equitably. So I think it's the dream of leadership that nobody will be left behind. I think the worry has been that whether it is a regional capital or a district capital, they are growth poles. People think that those who have money to invest will gravitate towards these places to the neglect of other areas. But like the president also said, they will make sure that projects are shared fairly and equitably among all the districts and communities. So if that happens, maybe the regional capital may not necessarily host, if there's a university that is to be established, it may be located somewhere. It is even possible that if you are going to have the regional police command, it may necessarily not be located in the regional capital due to certain circumstances. You may have the Ghana Water Company having their offices, functioning offices. You not necessarily have all these located in the regional capital. So what I think the traditional authorities should do, if they are to go by the plans that they have to support the political leadership, would be to sit down with them and let us come out with a blueprint so that people from the start will know that, yes, if this project comes to the region, it will be pushed to our end. Another project that may come should go to that end. When that happens, I think it will calm nerves.
Let me, Minister, so is that the approach? Is that the development model that you're going to deploy for these three regions?
Yes. Interestingly, I just want to reassure the generality of our people in the now three regions, that of the Northeast, the Savannah, and some of the people in the current northern region, because they have their families living there. So they should be reassured, because His Excellency is using the methodology he's going to use. He has already announced it. And for President, if he can't do something, he doesn't talk about it. He has already given a clear direction that the interventions, the projects that will be coming as a result of the new regions will be spread in a manner that all the districts, the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies will get the type of development that will move the whole area. Because you see, if we look at some of the development theories, sometimes we have the development of underdevelopment theory. So sometimes if you don't look at, consider the potentials, the comparative advantages of various locations within your region, you may put certain projects or interventions in certain area and it will have no value, it can't make any impact. So we are going to look at which area have a potential of getting what. For example, if we are looking at putting up facilities and then things that can help to promote tourism potentials of a region, for instance, like Savannah region, we need to put it around the Damongo area or the Mole area. Okay. Because in the whole of the country...
so Mole is around the Damongo area?
Mole is around that area. If you look at the two regions, for example, the Savannah region, the name Savannah is not just for nothing. The whole of that place is very good for agriculture. As a caretaker regional minister, even by the time that a substantive one will be coming, I will bring a proposal to His Excellency, the President, that they should even declare it as an agricultural region. Because everything in the Savannah is agriculture. And now that government has come out and rolled out policies consciously to see how we can now embark on commercial agriculture. We will modernize agriculture with our policy of one district, one factory. In these two regions, that is the northeast as well as the Savannah, some of their comparative advantages, we can look at some of the crops and just put up agro-processing industry. And I can tell you the peasant farmers that we have, because majority of the farmers are peasant farmers in that area. So the farmers can serve as outgrowers to these agro-based industries. We can produce and apply the global gap requirement with the international agronomic practices, whereby we can produce and add value to it through the agro processing industries, and we can supply to the national level and also export. And when we do that, definitely the poverty will go. If you look at
address the concern that if you have a capital in Damongo, it then becomes an attraction to the disadvantage of other areas.
Yeah, if we start to...
Which is a fear of Salaga, for example.
Yes, you see, in the past, everything, they used to concentrate everything in the capital. So, and when it is like that, they think that the same approach. But development itself and then methodologies are like living organisms. If you have a methodology, you don't change. Definitely, you want to use the old method, sometimes you can't be making the needed impact. And if you look at it, for the first time, His Excellency, the President, has decided to move the National Independence Day celebration. The 6th March celebration is coming to Tamale. And for the first time since independence. So that shows that, and he's going to be rotating it. So it's no more going to be the preserve of the Greater Accra, and for that matter, the Independence Square. So in the same vein, the facilities that we need to do, because if you look at the number of districts we have within Greater Accra region, there are many, but the Greater Accra, because the development is spread, the whole of Greater Accra region is one town now. So in the same way, if you look at the Nalerugu Gambaga, for example, where they are to locate the regional capital, they will locate it towards the Gambaga side, and it will just develop and merge. If you take Tamale, for instance, if you look at Tamale, all the peri-urban communities, in some 20 years, they were far away villages. Now they are in the same time. Savulgo Municipal Assembly, Tamale it is now one town. If the Tamale International Airport is able to, they get the second phase of it, which the aviation minister is working very hard. Savulgo will be hooked, Kumbungu will be hooked Tolong will, so it will just be one town. And in the same vein, all these regions, now at least if we can't get airports in this new region, but we'll have airstrips. We'll have so many things.
So one of the plans that you're announcing is that some of these new regions, so the Savannah, Northeast, might have airstrips. So you don't have to go to Tamale and then drive all the way to Damongo or Salaga or Nalerigo. So you just fly straight to Northeast. And then you pick a car, probably just, strolling.
So if the airstrip, we decide, instead of because of the balance and the spread effect we want to see in the allocation of projects in these new regions, we decide that the airstrip goes to this particular district. This other project comes, it goes to this thing. Definitely, it will open up the
place. Just a second, Idana, the 20 million cities though that you have to play with for now, because it's a seed capital. How much of a difference would that make? Looking at the level of poverty in the Northeast region and other places for you. And how soon do you want it?
As soon as now.
As soon as now. I'm sure by the time you're leaving the Jubilee House, you hope that a check is written for the minister who's going to supervise the thing, to take with you.
I'm sure the caretaker minister will be resourced to be able to provide some of the needed facilities for a takeoff. So if that is not done, he may not be able to get the necessary infrastructure for a start. Let me also say that the 20 million Ghana cedis, we are very, very appreciative of that. I've said this and I'm repeating it. If you take the Disassembly Common Fund put together for all the 6 districts in the Northeast region over a 2-year period, you are not going to get 20 million Ghana cedis. So if at one go, the government is able to dole out 20 million for us to start, I think it is a good thing. But let me say that sometimes, because of the level of deprivation and poverty, we need to be measured in our expectations. Because when you hear 20 million, you may likely think that it will come to address all our problems. That certainly will not be the case. I know from where I come from that there are districts in Northeast region that have not even got a secondary school.
No one?
There are some districts.
They don't have one secondary school?
Not even one secondary school.
I see.
Across all the 6 districts, it's only Wale and Nalergo that have hospitals. Some of the districts do not even have polyclinics.
I see.
These are all issues. And again, the only third road that you can find, apart from the trunk road, third in the whole of Northeast is Wale Nalergo stretch. All the other roads are not tarred.
This is Herculean.
So if you have this
huge
tax ahead, you would not want to think that 20 million will be enough to address all issues. Water supply is a big challenge. Come to education. I can tell you that across all the 6 districts, if you look at the league table, whether it is WASI or BEC, we are ranked at the bottom.
At the bottom.
That is the challenge we have to deal with. So 20 million, we are very, very, very appreciative. But I just want to appeal to our people to be measured in their expectations.
That's a very good call. Yes. Final word to you, Honorable, and just the picture he just painted. Do you already have the 20 million in your account?
The 20 million has been allocated and approved, and it's the Ministry of Finance. Now that already the regions, it was a proposal. But today, thank God, by close of working hours today, they are now existing institutions legally. So it means that from tomorrow we'll start putting in the mechanism. We don't even have
access
an account.
The funds.
Access the funds.
So you need a regional coordinating council set up.
Yes, and then also like they are talking, I'm just going back home for us to see how we can identify even some existing structures within the areas that within the assembly that we can use temporarily. We are host the various departments and agencies and whatever. And private people will actually now also start going there to buy land to see how they can put up some infrastructure to be able to do other things. And the seed money, you see, it has to show is a clear intention by government, and for that matter the president, to show seriousness of purpose. Because if the government, despite the fact that the resources already are not enough for the counter, but the government has put up a seed money of 20 million per each region, it means that other complementary agencies will come in, because the development partners, because they know deliberately that these are new areas. One, capacity building is key. Some of the development partners will want to strengthen the local government system, so that the governors, they will be able to build the capacity of the new regional coordinating council. There are new districts that are there within, and then new officers will be posted.
Just for the sake of time,
so, yes.
What's your number one priority starting tomorrow?
Number one priority is going to hold meetings with the key decentralized departments. For instance, education, agri, health, all of them. We are calling the heads to see within their sectors who we want to identify within the region who should be sent to where, what are the
then you
needs.
Deploy them properly.
Yes, the human resource needs, what existing infrastructure is there, what are the logistics so that we can kickstart.
And also, just a few seconds for me, look in the eye of the people who are watching you tonight in the areas where the agitation tonight, and speak to them in 30 seconds. Let's close.
I just want to use this platform, first of all, to thank His Excellency the President and his government for giving us this opportunity to have the 2 new regions. But also, I want to appeal to the chiefs, because we rely on them, and all opinion leaders within the catchment areas, to appeal to the youth to exercise restraint, so that they don't do anything that will destroy. These properties belongs to them. It is for the current generation and generation yet unborn. So they shouldn't, yes, we appreciate their concerns. We appreciate some of their frustration, but that is not the end. More good things are coming. By the end of the day, we will try to do things so that they will be very happy. They will not think that they have lost everything because regional capital didn't come to their district, but also development there, the development will come to them, even beyond their expectations.
I know you want to say something, but I just understand that my producer will shoot me to death. So he says I don't have it. So I'm grateful that you joined us. But this conversation will continue even as you reach out to the north. But I'm grateful that you came, Yinla Zakaria, also Salif Hussain, Northern Regional Minister, Caretaker Minister for Northeast and Savannah. Grateful. If you're watching tonight, please come. As Regional Minister said, that development will not pass you by. My name is Evans Mensah. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you.
My producer was telling me that I need